A local family's fight to protect the public's health is meeting resistance from the federal government's most powerful agency. The Department of Defense is arguing against the elimination of so-called forever chemicals, also known as PFAS. Investigative reporter Eric Rasmussen's here with the new claim that's really touching a nerve in Minnesota.
It is. And you know, the DOD says it's a matter of national security. The agency recently warned Congress about adopting the same kind of reforms that one young woman and her family have devoted their lives to. In the land and in the water.
People need to hear about this.
At the epicenter of the global fight over forever chemicals.
We use these things everywhere.
Where the world's largest producer is getting out of the PFAS business.
I met a girl once.
17-year-old Nora Strandy of Woodbury is still fighting.
She packed a real punch.
Excuse me.
This year, her big sister.
My name is Amara Strandy.
Spent the final weeks of her life pushing for a state law to ban the non-essential use of PFAS chemicals, repeatedly linked by researchers to rare forms of cancer and other illnesses in the East Metro and beyond.
Through no fault of my own, I was exposed to these toxic chemicals, and as a result, I will die with this cancer.
Amara's law passed days after her death in April.
PFAS doesn't ever go away.
Now the mission to expand those reforms nationwide, championed by Nora and other advocates, is facing surprising opposition from the Pentagon. In a letter to Congress, the Department of Defense outlined its many uses of PFAS, from aircraft to missile systems and other munitions, warning that losing access to PFAS due to overly broad regulations would greatly impact national security.
It's not overly broad. It is exactly as broad as it needs to be.
A charge Nora says her sister would take personally.
What do you think she would say about this?
She'd say it's bullshit. I can picture her reaction right now. She'd be running up the stairs, and she'd go, "Did you guys see what the DOD said?"
And not just about regulations. Following years of allegations that Maplewood-based 3M polluted water in the East Metro and elsewhere, the company announced plans to phase out production of PFAS by 2025, a decision the DOD says will directly impact mission capability.
It seems to me this is a very reasonable approach by the Department of Defense.
Retired four-star General Joe Votel, who spoke with us at his home in the East Metro, insists the DOD's concerns about national security are legitimate.
Does the DOD worry about any public blowback for going to bat on this issue and saying we need to preserve our access to these chemicals?
No, I think they're concerned about their image. They're concerned about being in compliance and not introducing things into the environment that are hazardous to service members or to the general public.
But in this latest report to Congress, the DOD calls PFAS a non-specific term for a broad range of synthetic chemicals, which does not inform whether a compound is harmful or not.
We're pretty sure these things are not good for us, and eliminating exposure is what I'm motivated to do.
Homogenizer just can't get it completely.
In his lab at the University of Minnesota, Professor Matt Simsek and his team have been working for years to limit the impact of PFAS on people and the environment.
We're running an experiment looking at how quickly these chemicals move up into fish.
Simsek is also open about the fact he receives funding from the Department of Defense,
high expansion foam discharge,
looking to clean up hundreds of military sites nationwide contaminated by the testing of firefighting foam loaded with PFAS.
Now they're putting a lot of money into, can we make just as effective firefighting foam that's not fluorinated?
In recent trips to Washington, D.C., Nora Strandy says she's working to convince lawmakers that even the sweeping reforms in Minnesota only ban PFAS for non-essential uses.
For the greater good of humanity, if we need these products, we'll still have them. But it's not for the greater good of humanity to have them in 14,000 different products.
It's a repeated offense that has festered in our land, water, and bodies for decades.
Amara's words in her final days, now a battle cry,
It's called Amara's Garden.
an inspiration for her sister's art,
Some of these people were good friends of Amara.
and a reminder
'Cause this is our fight.
that their fight is far from over.
Do what's right.
We've been asking 3M for a response to all of this. In a statement to us today, the company affirmed its plans to end all manufacturing of PFAS by 2025, adding it will continue to seek to innovate new solutions for customers. That, of course, Kevin, includes the Department of Defense.
So how's the Department of Defense reacting to the pushback here in Minnesota?
You know, we've asked for a response and we're still waiting. I can tell you in its letter, the DOD did say it agrees that eliminating non-essential uses of PFAS compounds is an important step in protecting human health and the environment. Just what counts as essential uses for that department is what's certainly going to be debated into the future.
I must tell you, I did not realize how widespread the use of PFAS by the Department of Defense was.
As the scientists said, they are everywhere.
Okay, thank you. Eric Rasmussen reporting.